And we finally got here. We finally got here.
Are we actually live?
We're live now.
Now we are.
I just spent half an hour fixing my internet for us to be here. So thanks, Conor, for bearing with us there.
That's okay. I love how Aidan's like, blessing me. He's like, we can start early if you want. I'm like, yeah, all right. Getting a little early. Just sat here. That's fine. I kept myself occupied. Internet access is a thing. I was just watching YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
That's
it.
cute.
Nothing interested. Nothing that interesting. We are on a lockdown, which ends tomorrow. So, couldn't really do much today. It's a fucking lockdown. It ends tonight at 12. Technically tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it's a long weekend. So that sucks. There goes our long weekend. Back to work tomorrow. Just when the lockdown ends, just in time.
There you go.
You gotta love it.
Banging. Yeah. So we had like a snap 3-day lockdown just because there was a couple of people that tested positive for the good old virus we all know and love so much.
Good old Rona.
And so we've been in lockdown since Friday midnight.
Friday night, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Masks and everything.
So that's been lovely. It's been cool. I know a lot of people listening will probably be into this. So I've got a revelation to give you, Conor, something that I've spent my lockdown doing.
Okay.
I haven't told anyone.
Okay.
It's a secret.
Oh, okay.
So I've told everyone that I smashed through Falcon and the Winter Soldier in a day in lockdown.
Uh-huh.
It was okay. It was all right.
It was all right, yeah. I liked it. It was okay. You know? It was okay, yep.
But I keep getting into all these arguments with Dylan online about like all the Marvel movies and stuff. I kind of do it for a laugh. But I'm also sat there like, well, to be honest, a lot of these movies I've not seen in like 8 to 10 years. Like all these Phase 1 films and Phase 2, I think most of them have only watched at the cinema and haven't watched them since. And same with all of them, really. Mm-hmm. So I've smashed through all of Phase 1 except for the Avengers.
Okay, so you're going to do a whole rewatch?
I guess.
We'll
see.
You're pretty much there.
We'll see.
Isn't there like 3 phases? Yeah. They just started the 4th one.
4 now with the shows.
Yeah, 4 started with WandaVision.
Yeah. But like
phases.
it was fucking so nothing. So I watched like all of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think I watched 5 of them like in one day, and then I watched the 6th one the following morning, and then from that I went straight on into Cap, the first Avenger.
That's a pretty cool way of doing it. How it all started.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, that's how it all started.
And then I jumped onto Thor, and then Iron Man 2, because I did watch Iron Man like a month ago.
Yeah, I remember.
And then this morning I watched The Incredible Hulk.
Oh.
Amazing.
Oh.
Amazing.
Oh. God damn.
So I'll probably hit up Avengers either later tonight or tomorrow at some point.
Yeah.
And then I always do these things. Like I was going to do a Nolan thing as well, where I was going to rewatch all of Nolan's, and I bought a box set for like most of his movies, and I watched the first 3, and then I didn't continue. I always do this shit. I always do it with movies. Start
and not finish. I get that. I'm waiting on sorry. I'm waiting on Mitch to get back from FIFO, because we're all going to watch. I've never seen Lord of the Rings. I've watched The Hobbit, but I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
So we're going to watch that together, all 3 of them.
I'm pretty much the same with that.
Yeah.
I have watched them on a plane, but it was like shit. Like it was shit
I've
house,
seen
and
bits.
I was barely paying attention.
I've obviously seen bits and pieces. Like my dad watched it in the UK, and like I was like walking in and out of the room, and I saw bits and pieces. I watched maybe half of the first one years ago.
Yeah.
Back when I was reading The Hobbit at school. And I was just way too young to even give a shit. Like, I was like, "Oh, talking scenes. What is this?" So like now I actually love film.
Where's Unit?
Yeah, where's Unit? Where's Unit's theme? Just there's no Unit anymore. Chibnall fucking hates it clearly. The only Unit I get is from Big Finish. Big Finish liked my comment the other day. Finally, some love from Big Finish. They hate me.
Don't hate Conor.
Yeah, they hated me and now they love me, apparently. They don't want to reply to me when I tag them in something, but they happily like my comment. So
that's lovely.
Fine. It's okay. I'm going to watch the 2 Angel part. Fucking hell, can't speak. I'm going to watch the Angel 2-parter after this. Because
cool.
I've had a bit of a shitty weekend, and I just want to escape into some Stephen Moffat, and yeah,
it's
and
very escapey.
Just escape into Stephen Moffat. So yeah, I never liked it much as a kid, so I'm interested. I haven't watched it in years, so I'm interested to see what I think. I think it's a cool story. I might like it a lot more this time. Yeah, I watched it in ages. Hey.
Yeah, I wouldn't have seen it since I think about 2017,
wow.
2016.
Wow, you have been waiting on these episodes.
No, 2015. Wow. 2015.
That's fucking ages. That's like 6 years.
Yeah. I know this because I remember I was not binging it, but I was watching through from the start before I went on, that trip I did to the UK.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I remember I got back and I was up to the doctor's wife and I was just like, I can't be bothered with it anymore. So, to be honest, there's going to be episodes in season 6 that I've probably not seen since about maybe the year or the year after they came out.
Wow.
So that's going to be a lot of fun.
It's really nice rewatching them, especially in order. I mean, some people are so I sometimes worry just from like a podcasting standpoint if like we're discussing episodes and people aren't really sure what scene we're talking about, but I got a few reviews this week and people are like listing character names and like story details, and I'm like, holy shit, you know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know, like I was like, okay, maybe people do actually full on know everything about episodes, and I think that's quite a testament to the show. I mean, we know everything, we know of episodes, we know a lot to say, like you just said then, like the Doctor's Wife, like I haven't watched that in years, but I could tell you a lot about it. Like, who writes it, like what happens in it, favorite scene.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, just because we haven't watched them in ages doesn't mean we don't know anything about them. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a good week for people writing in, and got quite a few people liking I think we're on 60 followers now, 65 maybe.
That's awesome.
Something like that. Yeah, so we got quite a few people this week joining the army. So thank you.
Yeah.
We love you lots. Thank you for subbing.
The 50% army. Is that what we call them?
Kinda. I got my
dad's original name.
My dad's cousin's son. He lives ages away. He lives in like a different state. I'm not sure which one. I think Sydney. And I saw him ages ago, like 2 years ago, like a family party. I rarely go and see my Australian side of the family, and he's rarely home, but we just happened to cross paths. And he's like, I gotta ask you about Doctor Who, because that's my thing as like a kid. Everyone knew I was a Doctor Who kid. He's like, gotta ask you about Doctor Who. And this was just when like season 11 had come out. I was like, gotta admit, I'm not really a fan, like, but if people like it, that's fine. And I got into like a massive debate with someone at the party. Not my dad's cousin's son. Like, he was on my side about not really loving it, but there was this guy there who like completely hated my opinion about it. But anyway, it was that guy's birthday recently, my dad's cousin's son, and I messaged him and I was like, look, just to let you know, I'm not trying to plug my show, but I know you're a Doctor Who fan, so here's if you want to watch it, here's this. And he's like, are you on the Chibnall episodes yet? And I'm like, nah, not yet. He's like, okay, I'll tune in when you guys get to that, because I want to hear your opinion on that. And I was like, okay, cheers. But he listened to a few, so thank you to him. It's been a good week for people listening, so this show means a lot to me, so thank you, everyone. Really appreciate you all. I'm going to stop being a soppy twat now.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this, and I'm a big fan of all the talking we do with you guys. We ran another poll over on @50Doctor on Twitter. And so I run the Twitter, Conor runs the Instagram by the same name, @50Doctor. So head over there and follow us if you don't already, and follow or subscribe to this podcast as well, and then we can listen to you every week. Or no, you can listen to us every week. We don't want to listen to you, to be real. Oh fuck, kidding. No, I love the chats. We ran a poll over on Twitter that was the best premiere episodes. I thought would be a fun little poll, considering we're just on the 11th hour.
That is good.
And so out of all 12 series of the revival, the 11th hour won. So that worked as a good little marketing ploy for at the end for me to be like, oh, by the way, we just did a review of it. Thanks, bye.
Yeah.
Left that there.
I voted Rose personally because of just more nostalgic sake, but definitely 11th hour was the best written. 100%.
Yeah. And I think one thing to remember with Rose is that it does set up, it's just everything. it wouldn't be the show it is today without Rose and Russell writing Rose and all that.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who voted Spyfall as well. For out of Jonas
No, Spyfall won.
Oh, did it? Oh, when I voted for it, it hadn't gotten any votes.
Yeah.
So that was the first vote. Okay, it won.
To be fair, those are probably two of Chib's best episodes in my opinion. Woman Who Fell to Earth. I really do. I really think it's a solid episode. And Spyfall Part 1 is just a lot of fun, I think. But the Master Reveal, whilst unexpected and cool, is kind of shit. I really hate that. It's just like, oh,
hello.
I can't run fast. Guess I'm the master.
I love that. Hang on a minute. Weren't you supposed to be a like they figure it out because they figure it out because it was like it was like meant to be some like Olympian runner or something. It's like, well, if you can run, why the fuck could you not catch up to the plane, you lying dick? Got you.
I love how that episode was like kind of themed, like when they do the James Bond kind of score for it.
That is really cool. That is really cool. I gotta admit, that did give me goosebumps. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, Sagun's good. He knows what he's doing, I feel. I think they just need to give him more moments to sort of pop a bit, you know?
He just had the impossible task of taking over from Murray.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So no matter what you do, if you take over from Murray, you're going to be wrong.
Yeah, basically. Unfortunately. And the thing is, well, it's not even like taking over from a doctor, because a doctor only lasts like 3 seasons. Like, Murray was there for 10 seasons. That was so long. That was so long.
And for a lot of people, that's the sound of Murray is the sound of the show.
Yes.
You know, because they wouldn't have, you know, like you, not been exposed to that much Classic Who. And I mean, even for me, who was Classic Who, they're two kind of different shows to me. And
yeah, you've always said that.
They both come with their own soundscapes. And so it was really surprising for me to hear Sagun's stuff as well. Even though I do love it, I just prefer Murray because it's more catchy.
Yeah. Nah, I do. I'm excited for a new season. Like, I think it's promising. Aidan's convinced that John Barrowman's coming back just because he's doing a BBC show.
Oh, come on, mate. What other BBC show does he have to go
get his hair dyed? He did one with Joe Martin. He literally did one with Joe Martin.
Yeah, and he was great. He was great in it.
Maybe that wasn't BBC. I don't know if Casualty airs on BBC. I think that's ITV.
Yeah, I don't think that was BBC. But
it is.
But apparently he's in Cardiff.
Okay. Alright, maybe. Well, yeah. I'm not opposed to being in it.
The cheeky fuck, he put his little location tag as in California. And then it's like, he's definitely not in California.
Yeah, no shit.
So it is a thing of like, why would he try and cover it up if it was just for another show, you know?
I'm pretty sure John Barrowman's the worst at keeping anything a secret when it comes to Doctor Who.
He's so shit. It's kind of funny though, as well.
I'll just post this. Literally a BBC, like, what's she wearing? That, like, thing, like, around her necklace.
Yeah.
Like a necklace thing that has, like, your pass on it to get in our places. Like,
lanyard.
It's like, come on, like, what? Everyone puts 1 and 2 together.
I remember before Fugitive, BBC America put out a trailer that was like, you won't believe what happens this week, and John Barrowman retweeted it.
Yeah, it's like, what? It's like, when I see stuff like that, I'm like, why was I so surprised when I saw him in the episode?
I know.
It's like, wait, what? He's in it? Yeah, literally had like no interaction with the show ever. Like, never retweeted anything, and then the one thing he retweets.
To be fair, I remember like seeing him retweeting it and being like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if he was in it? And then he was, and I was still as mind blown. So,
dude, that was the first. I gotta give Chivers this. That was the first time in the last time I can remember where I generally like jumped the fuck out of my seat. I was like, what? Like, I could not believe what I saw.
It's executed really well as well. The way like you hear it before you say it, and there is like a moment of like, is it?
Yeah,
surely,
is that who I think that is?
It's not. Yeah. And then by the time he says his last sentence, you're like, it is him. And then he comes in and is like, you missed me, right? And it just like was so right for the fans, I think. Like, just the way that your brain cognitively figured out if he's back. Yeah, that's great.
I don't see why he can't be in the new season. Why not?
Yeah, hopefully he has more to do.
Yeah, no shit. Maybe he's making Tortured 5. Wasn't the last Tortured 4?
Maybe, that'd be cool.
He's like, I'm ready to do it again. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be such a cool idea.
To be honest, like I said to you, I'd much prefer, though, if they did Joe Martin as like the recurring character throughout the Chibnall run. You know,
they should.
She pops up for a couple of episodes a season.
I reckon they are, because like she got received so well. So I don't see why.
Yeah, they got it.
The BBC are probably like, you know that thing you did last season, that's the one thing people didn't complain about? Yeah, maybe you should maybe you should do that. I think anyone liked Joe Martin. Like, no one hated. Well, there are people who hate her, obviously, but that's just Doctor Who few. But you know, it was normally even people who disliked Chibnall Zero were like, yeah, that was actually really cool. And I hate the whole not Timeless Victorious. I hate the whole like Timeless Children thing. But she's definitely a cool thing that came out of it.
Totally.
With peace and love, I do kind of wish that she was the Doctor. Sorry, I said it.
I hope it'll be cool if she's the next one. But let's not get into that right now. Today, what we are talking about is Skittles.
Why?
The Skittles Daleks, baby. Introduced in Victory of the Daleks. That is season 5, episode 3, which is written by Mark Gatiss, the man who writes an episode a season, and usually they're not that great. And it's directed by Andrew Gunn.
50% podcast.
Wait, where do I know that name from?
Andrew Gunn. James Gunn.
What? Yeah, James Gunn props. No, I think has he done more Doctor Who? I don't know. He's done some work with Andy Serkis. He did some work on Life on Mars.
Hey, I love that show.
It's not said what he's done for Who though. It might. He did some Primeval.
Oh, Aidan's favourite.
Oh, you know I love me some Primeval. So, Victory of the Daleks is the 3rd episode of the 5th series of British science fiction television series Doctor Who, written by Mark Gatiss and directed by Andrew Gunn. I literally just said all of that, so I don't know why I just read it. Broadcast on the 17th of April 2010. In the episode, the Doctor, Matt Smith, and his companion Amy Pond, Karen Gillan, arrive in London during the Blitz, where Winston Churchill, Ian McNice, has employed Ironsides, a scientific creation from Professor Bracewell, Bill Patterson, to be used as weapons in the war effort. However, the Doctor recognizes the Ironsides as his arch enemies.
Bruh.
Why do I work here? The Daleks, who plan to destroy Earth by activating a device located inside Bracewell, an android. Dun, 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 dun. Bruh.
Should we jump into it?
You lead the way, Captain.
Okay. I liked this episode, alright?
Oh my god, same!
Really? No, you didn't, did you? You didn't.
No, I did.
Oh, you did? Oh, great.
I genuinely did.
It got so much hate this week when people were reviewing it. And I was like, bro, come on. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. Like, I used to hate it, I think. But I kind of fucked it. I fucked it. I literally can't talk today. I fucked Victory of the Daleks.
I've always really liked it. I've always thought it was such a cool idea. I love the idea of the war rooms, the cabinet war rooms. I thought that was awesome. I even wrote my own like fan fiction book once, like retelling the story of Victory of the Daleks, which is a bit cringy.
Wow.
If I had it, I would read it, but it's literally gone into the abyss.
Did Amy Pond on the Doctor fuck?
No. I don't know what the plot was, but like it pretty much was the exact same plot, but I was just rewriting it, and I read it to my mum once, I think, and she kind of rolled her eyes probably because it was that bad. But it was like Victory of the Daleks had already happened in the story that I wrote, so I rewrote it, and it was like, instead of Churchill, it was like Churchill's brother, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't even have a brother in real life. Which is hilarious. So
your mum was like, Connor, we'll steer you away from the arts for the rest of your life.
Literally, she read that line, and Yeah, I literally wrote. I remember just the one thing I remember writing was like the doctor's like, "I know you. You're Winston Churchill." Was like, "No, that's my brother." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Like that's the kind of narrative I'm going for here." But anyway, it starts in the cabinet war rooms. We get to see everyone at work, which is really cool because this shit actually happened in real life, which is an awesome thing that this actually happens. Seeing humans all coming together, and they say we need to bring out the Ironsides, and then they show. They even went to the extent of making a little Dalek figurine so they could
baby boys,
which I'm sure would have taken a lot of work, but they did. And then the Doctor lands, and we get to meet Winston Churchill, which I think is one of the best people we've seen do like a interpretation of a famous person. It's really accurate, which I think is awesome.
The only one that stands out to me from that is Charles Dickens is the only other really good one.
It's literally like kind of like picture perfect, which is really cool. And he shows up.
We do get like Van Gogh this season and shit like that, which is cool.
Yeah, so, Van Gogh's really good.
There's good ones to come, but yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad. Like he comes back in the final briefly, and then he comes back in Wedding River Song.
Big Finish.
And Big Finish, yeah. I also think his character's really cool. I think it's like great casting. I like how he tries to steal the Doctor's TARDIS key instantly because he wants to use it to win the war, which is cool. I feel like Winston Churchill would do that. I like how they haven't met since Matt's regenerated, so he's like, "Is that you, Doctor?" It's cool. I like that, and I like how also they mentioned the TARDIS is still new because he's like a month late, and the engines are still kind of getting the cogs going, which I thought was cool. Little references to that which is really sick. And then they go outside to the rooftop, and there's a great line which I thought was really, really well delivered from both Karen and Matt, and the score was really somber as well. And I think it was great writing from Mark Garrett as well. I love when like they go outside and Amy's reaction to London. And she's like, she can't find the words, and she's like, it's, and then Matt says history. I thought that was a great line. Good. I thought that was really a great line. I really liked that. There was a
little moment just before this as well where they talk about the Daleks and the Doctor. Oh no, this is just after, isn't it?
Just after. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we get to that, one thing I want to mention is this rooftop scene. I always just remember another bit from the gag reel or a video diary or something like that, where I think Matt's filming or something, and he like goes over and he like pans to Karen, and he's like, "Karen, what are you doing there?" And she's like on her phone, and they have this big deal, and they make a joke, and they're like, "No phones on set," or something. And in that whole scene, she has a phone in her miniskirt pocket or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I just remember that the whole time. But that scene's good. And I love the Ironside shooting because obviously for some reason they're doing an attack on the Blitz in the daytime, which I guess is a thing. Maybe it was. But I always thought it was a nighttime thing because it was then you can't see them.
You can't see them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the point.
Yeah.
And then you get little Dalek boys exterminating, and you hear it, and you're like, oh, sounds like BBC's reused a few of the old sound effects.
Yeah.
Even though the episode's called Victory of the Daleks, so you probably would know. And then you see an Ironside.
I guess, like, do you think what they were going to go for this episode was, like, to get rid of the classic bronze Daleks, but they had so much flack?
Totally. And I respect that completely. Even though they did a shit job at it, I respect them being like, okay, we do need to move away from this. Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I got from it, which is cool because, like, everything's so different, but the bronze Daleks are, like, noticeable. I like how I've always loved, I thought it was awesome how, like, the Dalek has, like, the Union Jack, where, like, normally it has that. I always thought, I might be wrong here, but every Dalek one's different. I always thought it was, like, the number of what Dalek they were when they got made. I always thought that.
I think it's their name.
Their name, like Dalek Sek or, like, Khan or that kind of thing. But yeah, I love how it's a Union Jack, and it's got, like, kind of like it's got, like, a brace over it, where it can, like, have stuff put into it. I thought that was awesome. And it seems to have had, like, a bit of a sort of, like, an army tint to it. Almost like it's been spray painted, which I thought was awesome. I thought I was fucking with it. I was like, this is sick. The speech where, like, you know, the Doctor, like, goes up to him and is like, what are you doing here? You noticed me. And it's like, I don't know who you are. The Daleks don't know who you are. And that then he goes in to try and convince everyone that the Daleks are killing the machine. And yeah, we get that scene where he asks Amy, like, defend me here. The Daleks invaded your whole world, which is really cool because it's obviously referencing Stolen Earth. Plus even stuff like Doomsday, like they've attacked Earth a few times.
Yeah.
And Amy doesn't recognize. And I only found out the other day through Twitter where you can hear the silence just briefly. That is awesome. That silent sound.
It was also in The Beast Below. I picked up as well.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't remember when it was, but I remember watching The Beast Below and being like, it's there as well.
That stuff is awesome. Obviously, it's like the crack, obviously, and it's related to the silence, and they forgot about the Daleks and stuff.
How good? I know Matt obviously is just incredible in general, but I think it in season 5 in particular, and I spoke about this last week or the week before, and like Matt seems to have like a layer underneath what's on the surface with his performance that to me feels even more deeper than it is with David. The way he reacts to things, the way he reacts to the Dalek, and just like how incredibly angry he gets angrier and angrier sort of throughout the first half of the episode.
Yeah, losing his patience.
Shit. Mm-hmm. And it's just really fucking good from him.
Oh yeah, I think both him and Karen are like, they really do a great job at just instantly fitting in the roles and just doing a fantastic job, which is like unquestionably would have been very difficult for them after David, and the Slayer of Companions that were all universally loved. So like it was like it would have been very difficult for them. I really like it. There was a great shot where like Matt's talking to Churchill about the Daleks, and Churchill's showing him like the blueprints and stuff, and it's really cool. The Daleks have really done their homework here. It's like it really does look like they've been invented by this guy. There's a great shot where like it's just a really close of like Matt's head, and you can hear the Dalek going past, and it looks at the Doctor and it turns away, but it just keeps on Matt's face, and you can just see his eyes slowly like looking to like because you can hear it behind him. I love that shot. That was an awesome shot. This got a lot of shit back in the day. Like everyone hated the fact that the Daleks were like serving tea and like delivering books to people. Like it's on the
some tea.
It's a bit of a meme, but like I love how it's like also carrying that like book, that file on its sucker. And it's just going around on its sucker. It's kind of cool. I like it. But yeah, Matt loses his shit, which is a crazy scene. It's what the Daleks wanted. I guess they just needed like a voice. That part I didn't get. It needed like a voice thing. Like
I don't know why it's the Doctor's voice or something like that. It's a bit like they need his testimony. Is kind of saying.
Yeah, so he's like, I am the Doctor and you are the Daleks. I do like how, the Daleks always can like scan like hearts and shit, so they would have known it was the Doctor, but it is cool that this is like the first time the Daleks have seen a Doctor with like a new face for a while. And they shoot the Professor, his arm gets shot off. Turns out he's a robot, mate. Who's just had memories implanted into his head. I like at this point I'm liking it. I think the whole Cabinet War Rooms was a really cool idea to set an episode. I think the setup is awesome. I like how that whole lead up to Matt having a freak out. I thought this was all really good stuff. And then for it to get revealed that obviously like they were not created by the Professor, they were actually just the Daleks the whole time. I thought that was awesome. And then the Doctor runs into the task. I like how he doesn't bring Amy with him. Like it's the classic Doctor kind of just like thinking about himself and like running off. I like that a lot. And he was like, I'm going to do this by myself.
I don't know if it was this part or if it was later in the episode when he comes back and runs through. But like I'm the Doctor plays, and it's just like it's like another slightly different rendition of it.
I did notice that.
I don't know. It was just cool. I fucked.
You fucked it, yeah.
We also had the one ship survived.
Oh, of course. We love it.
Fucking sorcerer comes from behind the moon, which was a cool shot. But it's
and it's the classic design.
Yeah. It just makes no sense as to why this ship survived. because just all of them should have been destroyed. It wasn't a thing of like, oh, I guess they didn't shoot that one, because that's not how bloody Journey's End ended. Journey's End ended with like the DNA of the Daleks exploding or something like that.
Yes.
And then there's also what's shit is it's the classic design of the exterior, and then the interior is just like a fucking warehouse, and a small warehouse for that. And I love how Matt comes in and he's like, he says something and he's like, oh, you've been damaged or something. Yeah, like they try and explain why they don't have the original set with like a shit one line, and it just doesn't make sense or something.
It really is. Like, you can so tell it's a fucking warehouse that they just found in like Cardiff somewhere. It really is. There's
little
like bad.
Fans on the roof.
Legit. It's like, I guess the Daleks get a bit chilly, a bit hot, sorry. And it's like, oh, we'll just need some fans. Oh god, it's so obvious. I didn't like that. I like how on Earth keep buggering on was like a saying, which I think is a thing that Churchill would say a lot. I like that. I like how that it's a good saying. Keep buggering on. Even for Doctor Who, I thought it was interesting they put bugger in there, which I'm pretty sure bugger means like anal sex. I might be wrong, but so an anal sex reference. I might be wrong. It's definitely something to do with sex. So like that made me laugh.
Interesting.
Do you like the Doctor's Jamie Dodger? It's a bomb.
Love that. I think it's funny because it makes sense, because like the Daleks, I guess, until they scan, which they do, don't they? Do. Lol. Fuck, that was immature. But there's like just on looking at it, they would be like, oh yeah, that looks like a bomb. You know, like they're not going to know it's a biscuit. They don't know what a biscuit
Jamie
is.
Dodger. But I was promised tea.
Apparently.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So they just needed the Doctor's like testimony and stuff, which is weird. It's one of those things where it's like they do it so much. Doctor Who, it's like, just ignore it. There you go. It's like they're back, I guess. The thing that makes the new Daleks come out, I guess, makes sense. Like everything's like, I guess this makes sense. You know, it's like whatever. It's a bit odd, but yeah. So again, even more controversial this episode with the Daleks is the fact that the Skittle Daleks come out, and I kind of hate this design. I really don't like it.
They're fucking big. You know,
they're
them
massive
fans that I was talking about? They're in like, so they're not just like normal ceiling fans. They're like aircon fans. Like they're like in an air duct. And so the only one that kind of looks good in this episode is the Supreme Dalek, just because it's all white. And it comes out and it's so big that I'm not kidding. I'm pretty sure if it moved a millimeter forward, I think they stopped it where they did for a reason, and that's because it couldn't go any further forward without touching that fan. Genuinely watch it, and then throughout the entire scene, you will just keep looking at how close it is to this fan that's dropping down its head. I don't know who recce'd this place and who gave the okay to think that this was a good spot to film the Daleks. The ceiling is just so low. In terms of the look of the Daleks, the Supreme Dalek, like I said, it's okay. Then the other four just look shit. I do really like in Asylum of the Daleks, they bring back the blue one and the red one, and they really dull the colors down, and they look really good in that. Like I'd fuck with seeing them around a lot more. I don't know if you noticed that when you watched Asylum.
No, I didn't. No. That's the thing though. They kind of, after they got flack in this season, they kind of like one shows up like insanely briefly in like season 6. The Dalek gets like a cameo, but they're not in it. So like, I feel like they were kind of like, oh, maybe we should like take a step back from the Daleks. No, I didn't notice that. But yeah, I'm kind of the exact same as you with it. I'm like, these don't look great. They don't really look great at all. I hate the eye stalk, the classic POV shot, which is so classic with the blue is always so cool and iconic. This one is like covers the whole frame, and it's like got these weird things on the side that always move, and it really bugs me. And it's it's almost like they've almost got like eyes of animals now. It's just odd. It's just odd. It's like, you know, it's like these don't look good. And it's like they've also they turned up like they've turned up the tone by like 10 and like distorted Nick Briggs's voice. It's like, we are the Daleks, and they're like, it's held.
One ship survived.
Yeah, one ship survived, and it's like, these are like so weird. Like they almost try to like it's like the saying less is more is so important in TV and film, and I feel like they were like, oh, just make them massive now, and this car, kind of go a bit classic, and like, you know, make them look like this, and like, you know, give them more like an animalistic look and voice, and it's like, yeah, it's not groovy, and they clearly like I said before, they were clearly going for the whole like get rid of RTD era's design, because they're like, it's time to kill the filth, and they like. The Daleks shoot the bronze Daleks, and they just accept death because they're like, okay, we're not the pure form Dalek anymore, so we can just kill us, and they just shoot them, and then you're stuck with these 5 Skittles.
And then next time we see them properly is in Asylum, and they're just like best mates. The 2 different types of Daleks are just working together. You know?
Who knew? Well, they briefly show up. They briefly show up again in Pandorica. But it's only 3 of them. It's like what? I mean, I think Dylan said to me, I might be wrong, I think Dylan said to me that like they're all meant to do different jobs, but they never made that clear. Like, I think one does this, one does that, but
I remember I used to get Doctor Who adventures religiously. My nana would send them over to me. And they made a massive deal about like the new Daleks, and they all do different things. So
right.
The white one is the Dalek Supreme. The red one is Dalek Drone. And then I think the blue and the orange one is like the strategist and the scientist. I don't know which way around that was. And I don't remember what the yellow one was.
But there's never a line that goes, and now we're the pure race with all different roles. Or the Doctor doesn't have a line that goes like, oh, so why is it different colours? Like, anything happen here, folks? Yeah. And it's like, yeah, well, now we're all different, this and that. They expect us to buy a Doctor Who magazine to find this out. It's like, what? I assume one was the Supreme Dalek, but I mean, what is it? So it's white, red, blue, yellow, and green? Is that it? White, red...
Wait, what did you say? White, red, blue, orange.
Yellow and green? Orange, that's it. They're just
not quite green.
They're not, maybe I'm just colorblind. They're just so weird. Do they have a name as well? They're like the Daleks from like...
The Paradigm Daleks.
The Paradigm Daleks.
I'm reading an interesting thing here. After being ruled by 2 Emperor Daleks, and that's in the games, a Parliament of the Daleks was formed, and then that's what we see in Asylum of the Daleks, led by the Prime Minister of the Daleks. What the fuck?
Prime Minister of the Daleks, makes sense.
The Prime Minister also promoted the red Dalek drones to an officer class whilst returning the standard Dalek drone to the bronze design used in the Last Great Time War. So the Prime Minister of the Daleks brought back the gold Daleks, is what I'm hearing here in the Dalek lore. And the Prime Minister of the Daleks is who we see he's in like a tube in the start of Asylum of the Daleks.
Yeah, so I'm literally looking at it right now. You're right about the different tones with the colour. That looks a lot better.
Yeah, they do look way better. I actually would totally be cool to see them in like a proper, I don't know, like based on a Siege story or... you went to the experience, yeah?
Yeah, so we got to see these bad boys in person.
Yeah, and they were really cool because I think there was like the blue one on like a stand and it was like a dark Dalek spaceship and it was like coming out. That was like a cool, like I always have wanted to see that. And so it's a shame that they never gave it to us.
Says here.
They never gave him another chance.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It says here, so different colours represent Dalek society. Red means drone, blue is strategist, orange is scientist, yellow is eternal, and then white is supreme. Yeah, you're right. But they never, that's the thing though, like, they never ever, like, alluded to this. I had to hear from, like, you and Dylan and stuff. Oh, yeah, it says, despite small cameos in Pandora opens in Asylum of the Daleks, they've all but vanished. So, yeah, the last time they showed up was Asylum. I don't know, they must have just been like, oh, okay, we kind of get it, they suck, so we'll stop.
Yeah.
We'll just stop
showing them. They don't suck, they were upgraded to warrior class, according to TARDIS Wiki. Sorry, to officer class.
And then just go.
Anyways, so from here, this is where the episode kind of went a bit downhill for me. I didn't mind the Spitfires in space, even though it's Dartmouth. I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not?
I loved that. I thought that was awesome. I loved it.
It was fun. It was fun.
Danny Boy, who you told me was Mark Gatiss. I had no idea it was Mark Gatiss.
Yeah, Danny Boy's Mark Gaddis. That's
I literally put in our group chat with Dan and Aidan and I was like, man, I love Danny Boy. Like, he shows up once again in Good Man Goes to War, but I wonder why you never see his face. And you're like, it's Mark Gaddis. And I'm like, oh, shit. Of course it is. Can he write anything without putting himself in it? He's like, I'd be great in this role. I'll put myself as Danny Boy. He just shows up again in Good Man Goes to War. It's hell of whack. But it's cool. I liked it.
It's fun. There's like, so for me, this is like, we're only 2/3 through the episode. We should be really hitting up into the final act now. And then for me, this is where we just kind of lose all tension. Once the Dalek reveal happens, and because then they're like, nothing happens. And the Daleks didn't really want anything other than to make the new Daleks. That's like all their aim was. So once that happens, about 2/3 in, there's not much that happens other than just the bomb thing. That like Roosevelt, is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. Bracewell's a bomb.
Yeah.
And then that's the only bit of like tension there is in the final act. And
well, that's a technicality,
then, And even then, I was just sort of like, Amy's done fuck all this episode, really. And so it just felt like that was done there to give Amy something to do. Mm-hmm. You know? I don't know.
Yeah. Chirchie kind of gets chucked on the side as well, like with Amy, just down on Earth. And they, obviously they send the boys up to shoot at the ship. Which again, if you think about it, logistically makes no sense. Suddenly, like, they designed these ships that are just made to be up in the sky and now can go out to space. It makes no sense, but it's really cool.
Bracewell's like, oh, I have this idea for gravity bubbles. And
but it's like, what?
Like, all right, you better get making them, Bracewell. Or Churchill says them or something like that. And then, like, in the next scene, they've got 3 of them good to go.
Yeah, literally,
they're like, made them so quick.
Literally, they just get made so quickly. It's like, what? That makes no sense. Regardless, though, I do think it was really cool what they did, and it was really well directed, and it was like an action film. It looked sick. I loved it.
It was well directed. And
I loved it.
The CGI held up all right as well, hey?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I really thought that was a cool scene. And then they had the technicality, of course, where like they shoot out the the saucer on the Dalek ship, which is making the lights go up in London. They go off, and then the Doctor's like, "That's it. You're not getting away from me this time." But then like he has to go back to Earth because the bomb is going to go off.
That was good. Especially how Smith plays that was really good.
Yeah, it was like this whole thing where it's like, I could save everyone from the Daleks in the future, or I could lose everyone right down on Earth. And obviously the Doctor always makes the right decision and goes and saves everyone.
That's the boy.
Which I thought was good. But yeah, I do agree with you. There's literally no, like, it's like, oh, what's really happening now? It's like he has to go down. I like in the end it's Amy who saves the day, because the Doctor's kind of just being like, you know, he's trying to like talk him back into making him feel like he's human again, but then like it's not really working. Then Amy notices, like, you know, the human side of him and dwells on that, and it actually saves the day. So yeah, I think apart from her not doing anything in the episode, she does have that little bit at the end there, which is nice.
Yeah, totally.
Apart from that, not really anything else. I do like the scene they had together where it's like, you know, I let the Daleks go, but she's like, but you saved Earth, and he's like, well, not even Earth, was like, but you saved us all here, and he's like, for a second, he's like, that wasn't enough, and he was like, okay, that was enough, like, I did okay.
Yeah.
He says no to a cigar, which I thought was funny. You ever had a cigar before?
I have. I think with you, I want to say.
Oh, yeah! The one I bought out from Miami. Yeah, true.
Yeah, your Miami cigar. That's the one time I've had a cigar.
Yeah, I have like a couple a year. Like, just celebration. Have some cognac and a cigar. Normally at birthdays and stuff. My birthday, I always get one. Have a cheeky cigar.
Lovely.
They're fun. They're nice. I like the Doctor says no to a cigar. Despite the fact that Matt Smith used to smoke, by the way. I know this because he went on Craig Ferguson, who's one of my favourite late night hosts. He doesn't host anymore. Unfortunately, the awful James Corden took over, who is in this season. So I'm not a fan of James Corden. I like James Corden to an extent. I love Gavin and Stacey. He's like one of my favourite TV shows. But I don't think he's a great late night host by any means. But anyway, the person that James Corden took over from was Craig Ferguson, and Matt Smith went on Craig Ferguson and said he smoked. Fun fact. Not anymore, though, I don't think. Oh, I always remember this story that Matt Smith told on Graham Norton show. It always made me laugh. he was telling the story about once how he was like having sex in a greenhouse and a wasp stung his like bollocks. Apparently he just got like stark bollock naked, started having sex with this girl. I think it was his girlfriend at the time in a greenhouse. And then
that's so funny.
And a bee stung his balls.
That is so funny.
And he like got like he just started freaking out because like something stung him, but he didn't know what. It was so funny. That's a great story.
I need to watch that clip. That would be hilarious.
You know what? I've never been able to find the clip, but I remember watching it. I remember watching him on Graham Norton once and just like losing it laughing. And it was quite, I think it was after he did Doctor Who, because I don't know, BBC probably wouldn't have liked him to say that story when he was a doctor, but it was funny. It's funny. And yeah, the episode just kind of ends. I like how Churchill tries to steal the TARDIS key again, and Amy notices that's funny. Then they're like, all right, see you later. Keep buggering on. I like it. There was some nice character work. I thought that was good. And then the little scene at the end where Amy's like, "You still worry about the Daleks?" And he's like, "I'm always worried about the Daleks." I thought that was really cool. And it also sets up like the whole crack thing, because he's like, the more scary thing he said is that the fact that you don't remember them, that's not right. And they go away in the TARDIS, and then of course the crack, which is showing up everywhere, is you're gonna see it again. Obviously, the crack is pretty big in the next episode because it's at the end of the episode and stuff, and
it becomes like a proper plot point in the next one.
Yeah, which always shocked me as a kid. I was like, wait, they're addressing the crack already? I thought it was gonna be like a final season thing, like.
Yeah, but I think it's good, because if not, if it was just like, if this was Russell writing it, it would have just been, we'd see the crack at the end of every episode.
Yeah,
or maybe like throughout the episode it would be hidden behind a bin or something like that, and you got to spot the crack each week, and then it would all make sense in the finale. So I think Moffat liked to tell his stories not just with a premiere and a finale. Like, he liked to sort of tell it throughout the show. Like, obviously we have things like A Good Man Goes to War. I know that's like a mid-season finale, but it's still like a mid-season big bombastic event, and that needed to happen before the Wedding of River Song.
Bruh.
So he's really good at that, and it's like how like in series 10, the whole thing with the vault, that you'd think that was going to be the series long arc, but then it gets revealed in episode 6 who's in the vault, and then we have like a 3-part story in the middle of the season. I just like that Moffat likes to shake up the normal structure of a season. I think it's quite good.
Yeah. You know what? I was like really wanting to watch some Peter this week. I didn't, but man, I'm really keen to rewatch his era. I think that's the one I'm most looking forward to, especially like season 10. I feel like Bill Nardo and the Doctor is actually a really cool. It was something I was really against. Love it. Yeah, back in the day, I was like, this is such a stupid idea. But then I watched it, I was like, I like it, but I didn't love it. But then now I'm like rewatching a few little clips here and there, and I'm like, damn, this actually looks really cool.
Yeah, and for me, that's Peter at his best throughout that entire season.
Oh yes,
and I love the look of it, man. It is so colorful, so colorful, and I'm so keen for that.
I'm excited. I really am. I even just the 2-part final season 10, Well Enough in Time, and Dr. Fool was like, I'm really excited to watch that again. I really am. I think that would be a really cool rewatch.
Will be good, yeah, man. Got a long way to go.
Unfortunately, we're stuck on this. Yeah, No, I'm kidding. I'm really enjoying that as well. I think I've been loving this season so far. I think this season is like top notch stuff. I really think it is. So hopefully, I enjoy the Angel 2-parter as much as I've been enjoying these last. Even with Beast Below, I was like, it wasn't fantastic. Same with this episode; it was far from perfect. But I was like, I'm just having fun watching it.
Yeah,
like I'm not thinking it's amazing, but I'm enjoying watching it a lot more than I would enjoy like a standard Russell episode.
And from memory, that's sort of what the Moffat era is. It's just like pretty consistently fun, which is why it's my favorite, because it's fun. I do wish that perhaps there was a bit more like, there's so much like by the time you get to a finale in the RTD era, the emotions are so high, and they do get that right sometimes in the Moffat era. But I I think with it being so fun and wacky, we do miss the gravity and the stakes that you'd get come an RTD finale.
Yeah.
But I have one more point to say about that, but it's just totally escaped my mind. Yep, that's not going to work. Let's just move on.
Okay. No worries. All good in mind.
Shall we move on to Australia's favourite segment, everybody?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's time for Goof of the Week.
Oh, shit. I couldn't grab it.
That's all right.
Oh, well.
So things are a bit of a disaster this week because I know like 2 weeks or like a month ago or so, I think I got it done just in time because I didn't have much time to do it. But no, it was like 2 weeks ago. I didn't do it just because I genuinely had no time to do it.
I think that was for like, it was from one of the, it was recently. Yeah, sorry.
This week, I just forgot. I just forgot to do my research.
I love it. That's fine.
So, let's see what we got. There's a lot of production errors here, which is scary because these days, TARDIS Wiki, they seem to just grasp onto any form of error they can find. Oh, God. So, let's see how we go. In the scene where the Doctor and Amy are discussing Bracewell's possible deactivation, editor John Richards fails to match the frontals of the Doctor with the reverse looking at Okay, no, I'm skipping that. So this is all bullshit, you know? At the end, when Churchill is talking to the Doctor and Amy, he bends down to light a cigar and puts it in his mouth. When he gets up, it is no longer anywhere to be seen. That's kind of funny.
I love that stuff.
There is one goof here that I did notice. When the Doctor is talking, you see like a shot through the monitor that they're watching of the Doctor talking to the Supreme Dalek, and they're like right next to each other, like pretty much touching. And then when it actually cuts into the scene of them talking to each other, they're like a pretty decent.
He's quite far back. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There are numerous points in the episode where the ear lights of the Daleks did not light when a Dalek was speaking, and it's got them listed here and all the stuff that they're saying. I guess, they forgot to put the batteries in the lights or something. Need to change the bulbs. The cockpits of the Spitfire pilots glow green when firing their lasers, but they fired red lasers. The green light could be from the green Dalek lasers passing the Spitfires. That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
When the TARDIS dematerializes and causes wind to blow against Churchill and Amy, their clothes are affected, but the cigar smoke in the air is unaffected and actually drifts towards the TARDIS. I guess because the cigar smoke's CGI, I guess.
I did notice that, the CGI smoke.
Yeah, so that's funny. When the Dalek ship renders all light switches useless, one person flicks a switch 3 times in an attempt to turn them off. When power is returned to the switch, the lights in the cabinet war room should technically have turned off, as the switch was hit an odd number of times. Fuck's sake, man. Why do you have to pick that shit? I want to have... If anyone listening knows who writes TARDIS Wiki, I just love a chat.
I think anyone can write it. That's the point. It's wiki.
Yeah, I know, but who writes the main bits? You know, on the Scrubs Rewatch podcast, they have Trevor Wiki, and he's the guy that wrote the majority of Scrubs Wiki, and he has like a team that he works with that run it. And every now and then, if they're stumped about some Scrubs trivia, they call him in and they ask him questions.
We should have a TARDIS Wiki creator call in.
Yeah, so if you're the creator of TARDIS Wiki or have a large role in the creation of it, write into us at 50 Doctor. Let's go! In many scenes where the Ironsides are present, the grill parts on their casing look ripped, and in other scenes, they are intact. The same thing happens on the Dalek spaceship, including with the Gold Dalek. Just as one of the Dalek Ironsides is about to hand Bracewell a cup of tea, its dome is slanted to the left, but as the sucker arm retracts, the dome is straight again. In one of the long shots when the Doctor is in the TARDIS talking to the Dalek Supreme, it can be seen that no visuals have been overlaid on the TARDIS wall screen, as the green screen is clearly visible. That's kind of funny. I didn't notice that. Maybe they fixed it, because I know they've gone back and fixed a few of those things in the past.
Okay.
So that's funny. That was a long-winded goof of the week there. Sorry, folks. I'm sorry I didn't pre-read these and pick the best bits. You have one? I guess. Sorry, I didn't ask.
Sort of.
Go on.
That's all right. Kind of is one, but like when in the last scene where the Doctor and Amy kind of like leaning against the TARDIS and they're talking about the Daleks, I noticed that Amy's like leaning against the part of the TARDIS where like you can open up the cabinet and like the telephone comes out, and it's obviously meant to be quite solid. It's like a solid thing, but she's leaning against it, and it's really like you can tell it's just like cheap plastic because it's like really bending flimsy. In. Yeah. Apart from that, that's all I noticed. So
that's funny. Well, usually now we would go on to behind the scenes. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff here. So what I'm thinking is we go on to Australia's third favourite segment, and whilst you're talking through the reviews that we've had this week, on your end, I'll do a bit of pre-reading, bit of multitasking.
All right.
So I'm not just reading out bullshit like I was just then. Sound good?
Okay. That sounds great. All right,
let's
folks. Do it.
It's time for Australia's third favourite segment. It's time for just Twitter and Instagram Tings.
Okay.
You take it away with the Insta stuff first, please.
No worries, sir. Take it away. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Okay.
Gonna be a bumpy ride.
Okay, I actually got quite a few this week, and I think from memory it's from a few new people, which is always nice, or at least one new person.
That's great.
Yeah, I know where these people find us, but they do, so that's great. We'll read Dylan's first. Dylan wrote, Victory of the Daleks is an episode I loved as a kid, and now not so much. I really like the what do you call them, Paradigm Daleks?
The Paradigm Daleks, yeah.
That's it. I don't care what people say. I think they're really cool. I also like the Doctor in this one and the way he interacts with the Daleks, but everything else, it just doesn't work for me. Jesus Christ, 3 out of 10. Wow. See, I told you, this episode got a lot of hate this week.
Was that Dylan, did you say?
That was Dylan, yeah. Our good friend Jacob Hind wrote, I don't think this episode is as bad as some people say it is. The first half of the episode is solid, with the Ironside Dalek design being a highlight. And the scene where the Doctor hits it with a spanner is great. The episode does fall apart with the Power Ranger Daleks being introduced. Also the stopping the bomb scene is a particular low point of the episode. However, this is probably one of the better Mark Gatiss scripts. Always annoy me how the Doctor refers to the Dead Nation button as a jammy dodger when it's actually a jam and cream biscuit and not a Grammy dodger. Is it? Damn. Don't know why, but it always annoyed me, so it could be a goof of the week. Just hear the jingle. Just to hear the jingle.
Did someone just run our show for us?
That's hilarious. Don't know. I love that. Don't know. Literally he said, what did he say? I don't know why, but it always annoyed me. Could be a goof for the week just to hear the jingle. That's sweet. Sorry for the long review. 6 out of 10. No worries about the long review.
Was that Jacob Hines, you say?
That's Jacob, yeah.
Thanks, mate.
No worries, mate. And then finally, I got someone...
I said thanks to Jacob, but that's all right.
I was shouting thank you too.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying thanks to me. Sorry, just move on.
We got a new one from James this week. I don't know this person, so thank you for writing in. He said, Smith's third outing is a mixed bag, an interesting premise with an iffy execution. As with most early Smith, Churchill was great, and I love the running joke that he wants a TARDIS key. However, the whole Ironside Daleks plot is pretty ridiculous. The Daleks built Bracewell only a few weeks before the events of the episode, and no one questions or looks into why, as a grown-ass man, he suddenly exists. That's quite true, actually. The Daleks relying on the Doctor to turn up and revive their memory is too convenient, and once again we get the whole I am the Doctor bullshit to prevent them from killing him. The jammy dodger was funny. I did however enjoy the report between Amy and Bracewell, Paisley Boy and Brackets and Churchill. 6 out of 10. That was a good review, thanks man. And I'll briefly, I did a few things on the Instagram story like I do each week, so I will quickly read out those. I did just happen to just put on my Instagram story when I was watching the episode, which was fun, so people kind of tuned in for that. I was cleaning out my room this weekend, and I found this Matt Smith bobblehead doll, which was absolutely terrifying, and I put on the story, will bobblehead Matt Smith haunt me in my dreams? 93% said yes, 7% said no, and as per usual, it's just my friend Mitchell trying to piss me off and vote on polls he doesn't understand. To be fair though, on this one, he actually messaged me privately and said that's actually a really cool bobblehead. So he actually kind of liked it. So yeah, he's the only person who voted no. Everyone who voted yes was James Darwin, Poppy, Shane, Ash, Dylan, James, Xavier, Jacob, Vinny, you, Aidan, a guy called What Are You Doing 473, Alex, and myself. So thank you to everyone who voted there. I agree, it's terrifying. And finally, I wrote, what era utilized the Daleks the best? Russell T Davies, Moffats, or Chibnalls? And we got a few responses, which was awesome. James Darren wrote, I'm going to say Chibnall. I prefer the RTD Dalek apps, but Chibnall made them feel scarier. Aidan wrote RTD, however, after series run, they kind of just become generic soldiers. Zaya wrote this, which is definitely him taking the piss. He put, definitely Chibs. In their 2 appearances, they have done nothing. Also, technically, Dalek wasn't even RTD's idea, so thank you for that. Shane wrote, obviously, RTD. Jacob Hine wrote RTD, though I think they're overused. Dylan wrote, he goes, RTD, Chibnall, Moffat for me. And then, just to piss me off, my best friend Mitchell wrote, obviously, Chibnall, because he knows how much I don't like Chibnall's Dalek episodes. So there you go. Thank you, everyone who wrote in this week. Thanks for the new faces. We love you lots. God bless.
Wowie.
Done. That's all I've got, at least.
That's all right. We've got a few here over on the Twitters. Just a little bit of pre-reading there. I had to read through a lot of bullshit to find the good stuff, which is why I wanted to do it that way.
Always fun.
So there'll be some good behind-the-scenes facts there. But for now, let's dive into Twitter. I said one ship survived. What are your thoughts on Victory of the Daleks? So we have Dan Peters, the main man, says, it's okay. Ian McNeice as Churchill,
I think that's right,
is excellent casting, and the World War II setting is effectively realised. Mark Gatiss has clearly taken a lot of inspiration from classic Dalek stories, particularly The Power of the Daleks. Haven't seen Power of the Daleks, I'm afraid.
Ooh.
I think that's an animated episode. I think it's Patrick Troughton's first episode, I think. I love Matt's reaction to seeing a Dalek, me too, and his rage later on. Overall, another great performance from him. The Skittles Daleks really don't work, but I think they should have tried to do something more with them rather than effectively getting rid after the story. I do agree with that.
That's true.
The ending is a bit Power of Love, and this becomes a trope of the Moffat era. I feel like it might have worked better as a 2-parter, as it seemed a bit rushed in the second half. I agree, but I think that's because they maybe didn't have much to do with the second half, so nothing kind of happened, to me at least. Dan says 6 out of 10.
Okay.
For his review there. Conor said, I liked it. Hey. Thanks, Conor. Thanks, mate.
I forgot I put that.
And Dylan said, Power Rangers Daleks cool. Everything else, meh.
Fair enough.
And I think that was all from the Twitter sphere this week, I think. Unless I retweeted it and we got someone there, because I do that sometimes, but I don't think so. So it's a lot of fun. Thank you
Vinny didn't write in.
To everyone who tweeted at us and DM'd us on Insta and all that. It's a lot of fun. We love hearing from you guys. Get in on the conversation at 50Doctor, Insta, Twitter. Come at us. We want to hear your thoughts. Conor, shall we move on to Australia's second favourite segment?
Oh, yeah.
Better late than never. It's time for Behind the Scenes. Yeah. Boy. So, Conor, did you know that this episode holds the record for the most Dalek props, with the exception of CGI, cutouts, toys, and other illusions, used in a single story, with no less than 8 Dalek models on screen at the same time?
I did not know that, no.
There you fucking go.
Thank you, Aidan.
There you go. No worries. That's it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, Jesus. I wouldn't be surprised.
What did you say?
I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so the Daleks seen since Series 1 were designed so the eye stalk would line up with Billy Piper's eyes. The new Daleks are designed to match Karen Gillan's height.
Right.
That's why they're a lot taller.
They don't even meet.
A lot taller.
Oh, that's they do. Right. They not the Skidor Daleks, but okay, fair enough.
Okay, so the new Paradigm Daleks were originally designed slightly different, with blades on various parts of their casing. Budget and time constraints led to the design being simplified. Yeah, it definitely got a lot more simplified than that, didn't it? Mm-hmm. The rear hatch and infamous hunchback of the new Paradigm Daleks was intended to store weapons. So I just burped into the mic once again.
Lovely.
The manipulator arm and gun stick would swing around to the back along the grooves in the midriff and be replaced by different weapons. This would have been rendered in CGI had it ever become relevant. So that's most of it. Oh, the other little funny thing I found here was the Dalek model on the spotter table, that they use and they push on in the intro. This appears to be a character options Dalek toy painted grey.
Yeah, so I was going to say that I had that game and it looks exactly like it. And I was like, that must be it. I've always thought that because I had that game and they had those little Dalek figurines. So
I don't think it's from a game. I think it's like a toy from character options, unless character options had a game. But
perhaps, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a lot of fun. That was behind the scenes this week, folks. Sorry, I promise I'll be more prepared next week when we take on the Weeping Angels. I'll have all my info good to go. So there's no faffing around like we had today,
You know what I've been thinking this last 20 minutes? I'm so excited to rewatch Asylum of the Daleks. I reckon that'd be such a cool episode to rewatch.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah.
Starts off season 7.
They're just all so fun to rewatch, to be honest. Like, there's the odd one every season that was a bit like, oh, we've got this one this week. But well, I feel like every week we sit there and we're like, fuck, I'm so keen for some.
Yeah, I'm actually keen to watch.
Keen for some from series 7. Like, I'm always just keen for the next era or the next series.
Well, one of my all-time favorite episodes is coming up soon, which is Amy's Choice. I love that episode.
Yeah, baby, that's a good one.
That's gonna be so cool to rewatch. And we got some awesome ones like Vincent the Doctor. We get Chibnall's first episode coming up. No, second episode that he ever did.
Yeah,
with the Silurian two-parter. There's some really cool. We got the Lodger coming up. Jeez.
Yeah.
I think
we have.
I think it's a strong season, man. I'm excited for this.
It is strong, and I think a lot of the more duddy episodes that were a bit of a dud to us back in the day. I think they're gonna be. I think we're gonna like them a bit more. They probably won't be great, but I think we'll like them a bit more.
Yeah, I think I had a huge expectation with Russell's era because it meant so much to me as a kid, and I was like, I have to expect something from every episode. With Stevens, I'm a lot less demanding, which is I think why I'm enjoying it so much more now. So hopefully I'm going to watch this Angel two-parter next, and I want to watch both tonight. I'm going to try and watch both tonight.
Okay, I might watch one part tonight. I've got some other stuff to get on with after this. But yeah, I might watch one later on. Yeah, so that's the show. Conor, would you like to give me your review, your rating, your final rating for Victory of the Daleks?
I know I spoke about it very highly, but I do think it's definitely not without fault. But I'm going to give it a 7.5. I had so much fun with it. I really did enjoy watching it. I think it's definitely one of Mark's best episodes. If you look at it, it doesn't make sense, any of it really. Everything's kind of just just believe it and just hush, Yeah. Put it to the side, don't worry about it. But I think Churchill's characters, Churchill's character was great. All the side characters were really good. I thought the casting was great. Amy didn't do much, but the scenes that she did have were really cool. Definitely some great range from Matt Smith. The stuff they did with the Daleks, although I didn't like it, I think it is ambitious and it was cool they tried. And yeah, all I can really say is I had such a fun time with it. The scene, the scene in space with the fighter pilots, I thought was awesome. My favorite scene from the episode.
That was really cool.
So 7.5.
Well, I pretty much entirely agree. The only things I want to add is just reinstating how I just feel like, the Paradigm Daleks didn't work in this one, but there was potential, which we did see realized in terms of the design in Asylum of the Daleks. There was potential for them to look good.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame that we never actually got to delve into that a lot. And then for me, just the final act is just pretty naff. Just not a fan of the final act,
Totally.
It's a bit
I
shit,
get that.
really.
It is a bit shit.
I'm going to go to 7.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, so I think we got Conor with a 7.5, me with a 7 for Victory of the Daleks, baby.
I have a feeling, I'm not going to say it's going to be my highest rated season, like when we calculate all the scores together, but I have a very good feeling this is going to be the most I'm going to enjoy watching a season so far.
That's cool. I know for me, this is definitely series 3. I was like hooked on. Like, there was like me and Conor wanted to get the 2 episodes a week done in series 3 to get so we could have a Christmas special out on Christmas. But
P.S.
it wasn't just that. It was also that me and Conor were just really loving series 3 because I know you were as well as me.
Yeah, I loved it. My favorite.
And so doing 2 a week obviously meant we could watch an extra episode or an extra 2 episodes sometimes a week.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And this is the closest to that I've been feeling.
I was going to suggest if lockdown was going to continue, I was going to suggest if we did 2. But now there ain't lockdown anymore, baby.
No, there's not, but there's the chance we could go back into it because
there is a chance. Yeah, we're pretty much on red alert for the next 4 days. So
yeah, because they only have like 50% of the test results back from the close contacts of the person.
Yeah, so we could go straight back down.
Yeah, baby. And if that happens, you'll get a bonus episode. I don't think it'll happen. For some reason, Perth is just immune to COVID. I don't get it. I don't know why.
I know.
Every time it hits Perth, we get 1 case, or this time I think we had 2 transmissions. So it was technically 3 cases.
Yeah.
And the moment we go lockdown, no more cases get found. And we're just like, we're just sorted. We're just fine. I don't know what it is. But
at least we can get on with our lives, you know, and just like get on with our lives and get back to doing what we do best.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy about it. The pub closed, so I was upset.
Yeah.
But it's open again, so yeah, I think it is. I don't know. It's confusing, but either way.
Yeah. I did enjoy, and I mean this with no... I know obviously in the UK and the US, people have been stuck in lockdown for so long. So I don't mean to say this in a way that takes away from that. But I did enjoy just having a weekend where I genuinely, other than I had to go and do a couple of short shoots, I pretty much had the entire weekend to just watch TV. Yesterday, I just sat down and watched TV the entire day, like I was saying earlier on. I did a bit of admin work in the morning, but most of the day, was just watching TV. Watched 3 movies and an episode of TV, and a footy game. Like, it was just great. Yeah, watched Freo win. Was that yesterday or the day before?
I think that was yesterday.
But it was just nice because I've really not had a day like that in ages. So it was just a good excuse for me to not do anything. Because if not, I would have messaged Nicole and been like, "You want to hang out?" or something like that. Whereas this, it was just like, nope, you're going to fucking sit down and watch TV. And that's it. And I loved it. But I could definitely see that after a few more days, it will get a bit tedious. So I do feel for people that have been stuck in it for a few months.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. It did worry me. I still am a bit worried because it's like, I'd been home all week. Just like, because I was ill. I didn't work. I didn't go.
Yeah.
I had Tuesday, Friday off. Started to feel a bit better on Friday, and then it was the weekend, and then lockdown got announced. So I've literally been nowhere, and I was like, if this continues, I'm gonna start to get a bit crazy because I hadn't seen or been in a work environment, and you complain about work, but it does keep you sane. It does keep you busy.
Totally.
So it's like I was starting to feel like, oof, I haven't done work in a week, apart from the podcast and film work, which is just some fan projects I'm working on. So yeah, I'm just kind of looking forward to getting a bit of stability back in my life. It's affected my health. It really has. I'm after a few days of being able to just watch TV, and I'd never get to watch TV. I'm working 5 days a week, so I never get to watch TV in the afternoon. To be able to watch TV in the afternoon and lying on a weekday was foreign to me. So it was kind of nice, but it started to get a bit tedious near the end.
Totally.
So I get what you mean. It's important to have it a little bit, but then to get straight back into how things are I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. Like, I came off of, a totally fucked month. And I made, like, a YouTube video about it that I've not released yet, and it's not finished.
Oh, yeah, you were making
but I, like, shot it all. I shot it all and edited it all in one day, and it was great, but I just need a bit of a start and an end for it before I put it out. I think I know what I'm going to do with it. It's just very honest, and it's kind of probably the most real I've sort of been in a video, and it just kind of, I guess, breaks down a bit, sort of what happened in March and how I just kind of got a bit destroyed. Yeah.
Can I ask what it's about?
That's like what it's about. Like, it's sort of about my progression from January to March and sort of where I was kind of mentally and sort of maybe the things that triggered that a little bit.
Did something bad happen in March?
No, like shit things did happen. Nothing.
Was it that Snapchat you sent me?
Shit.
Is that Snapchat you sent me the other day? It sounded a bit crap. Was that? So I don't know if you want to say on the show. So I don't want to dig at anything that's not you don't want to talk about, but.
We'll talk about it after the show, but March was a bit, a bit shit.
Yeah.
So I have a video talking about that, but it's one of those things where I don't want it to come off as like a, like an obnoxious, oh look how shit my life is kind of thing. Like I want it to be a story, and I want it to validate itself. So I'm probably going to give it a couple of weeks and sit on the video and make some tweaks and make sure it doesn't sort of come off in that way.
Well, if you want to, before you put it out, you can unlist it and send it to me, and I can let you know what I think if you want to do that.
Oh, true, yeah. Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, I want to do that in the future for some like projects I want to work on. Like unlist them and send them to like a couple of people and be like, do you think this is worth putting out?
Yeah.
Just some food for thought.
Yeah. No, good shout. That's the show, everybody.
Boom! Sorry.
Boom, boom, boom. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Now we got a little. We got a little dull at the end there, but that's part of the 50% show. That's what you get. You get real talk sometimes.
Real talk.
Yeah, baby. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Victory of the Daleks because we actually did, surprisingly.
I did. I loved it. A lot of fun.
Next week, we'll be taking on the Weeping Angels. River Song's back. It's all crazy. Moffat's riding again. The crack's exploding. We got the army cult that has an Omega sign on their shoulders, which I was convinced for ages meant that they were working for Omega.
It's got Jorah the Explorer in it. Jorah the Explorer.
It does. I forgot about that. Oh my god. And maybe next week I'll talk about Big Finish because I've been meaning to for the last few weeks.
Big Finish. My favourite subject.
Not everyone's favourite segment.
What's it? Finishing big and finishing first. When you
finishing big,
finishing big and finishing first. Aidan's favourite segment.
Folks, Conor, stop dabbing, you absolute loser.
You love
It's been your boys, Conor and Aidan. Follow us at Twitter and Instagram. It's the 100th time I've said it this episode at 50Doctor. And follow or subscribe to the podcast on whatever app you're listening to us on. Conor, would you like to sing us out in song?
Yep, let's do it. You ready, Aidan?
Yeah, baby.
And one, and a two, and a skilly-diddly-doo. It's Aidan and Conor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews, Boom!
Oh.